Hello and welcome again. And this time we are discussing about columns and struts, and we discussed all the four formulae for columns. So this time we are discussing columns of for eccentric loading. So we have studied in different types of columns and struts. Uh, so in eccentric type of loading, the load is not applied in the line syncing with the axis of the column or stud. So is the eccentricity from the geometric axis, that is that it is the deviation from the axis that is under uh, that is the neutral axis or the mean loading line. So we have loaded a load P that is not matching with the central axis or the neutral axis of the column, and this is the Rankine method of defining the sigma max and P load of sigma max and maximum compressive stress that is developed in a strut or column, short column, and that is not loaded axially. So eccentric loading, P is the load that is subjected to column with, and E is the eccentricity, the offset distance from the neutral axis. Then A is the area, sigma max is the maximum compressive stress, sigma is safe stress of the column, and LE is the effective length of the column. Because we know there are two types of length. One is the actual length and another is effective length. And that effective length is basically the length that resist to the external loading. This way, this effective length is uh, highly desirable, and this effective length is the only component that basically produces the resistance, so in order to the length or the column or strut to be survived. So this is the effective length, and we'll be finding that sigma max, how much maximum stress, maximum compressive stress can be developed in order to have this uh, column not to be filled. So P by A is the safe stress that is depending upon the type of depending upon the load. So we have got the cross sectional area, then P by A is the stress, that is sigma, and then we have PE by I into Y, and this way we can say that this is the effect of eccentric loading, because E is the eccentricity, or E is the deflection distance from the neutral axis, and I is moment of inertia, uh, y is the centroid point. So PE by I multiplied by Y clubbed together, summed with safe load or safe stress, that is P by A, then will be getting maximum load, maximum stress. So this way we can find maximum stress that is that a column is subjected to, and when we find maximum stress the column can be subjected to, you would be able to design a column. So this is the safe load, or this is the maximum load, maximum stress that can be generated in the column. And if we apply forces or load so that they exceed the sigma max, the column is going to fail. So now solving this problem and taking P common and substituting, we will be find that P equals sigma C into A divided by 1 plus EY by K square. So where sigma C is the compressive stress, and K again is the slenderness ratio, L by K. So we have discussed earlier. So this is Y is the distance from the centroid. Y is the centroid. Is the eccentricity, is the area, cross-sectional area, and K, as we know, is the, as we have discussed earlier, L by K is the slenderness ratio. So this way we can find the safe load on the column P. So this P is the safe load, and beyond loading beyond this point, loading beyond this load will definitely fail the column. So we have to take care while designing the column. So is the eccentricity, we have to take care of these factors. So this is the figure in which I column is shown, I section bar being lifted by crane. This is the I section. So this is given in the example. This is given in the diagram. So this we can see. This is the I section, and that is utilized for infrastructure purposes. So just for the sake of visualizing what are the columns. So this is the column. So this way we have found the P. So this is P sigma A by 1 plus E by k square plus 1 plus minus A by k square. So this is the maximum loading or safe load. Then this is Euler's method. Euler's method is again for one column fixed at one end and free at another end. So this is again subjected to eccentric loading. So column of the length is L subjected to eccentric load P. So this is the load P that is acting, and this is the eccentricity from the axis. So this is deflecting delta. So this way you can find applying Euler method. Also we can find, we can see EI d2i by dx2 square plus P e by c minus y. So this way will again differentiating, integrating, and this way will be finding the solution in the above differential equation is given by. So substituting this value, first we differentiating, then first when we are integrating first time, then we will having C1 that we have earlier discussed in double differential method. C1 and C2 are the constant that are obtained while first and second differential solutions. So we'll be finding values of C1 and C2 like we have earlier done in double integration method. This time we are not going to discuss in details. So this way we can find the value of, you see, this way we can find the value of safe load, value of safe load. So this is quite dim, this is quite clear. Yes, so we find the delta or deflection from the original position that we have earlier calculated. So this way minus it's coming out delta equals delta plus E within bracket 1 minus cos L square root of P by EI. E is the uh, Young's modulus value, Young's modulus of elasticity. P is the load, I is the, as we have discussed earlier, I is the bending, I is the moment of inertia, and L is the length, effective length. So E is the eccentricity, delta plus E, 1 plus. So this way we'll find delta as well as E. So delta plus E is equal to E sected L divided by P by EI. So maximum bending moment. This way we have got maximum bending moment, then sigma max, then sigma D plus sigma C. So Z is the section modulus we have earlier defined. So sigma max, how much sigma max is allowed, by Euler's formula is, we can see P by A plus PE sec LE by 2 square root of P by EI divided by Z. So this is the maximum stress that is allowed in a load that is free at one end and fixed at another end, and eccentric loading is there. Eccentricity is given by E, so eccentric loading is there. So this is the maximum stress that is allowed inside in a column that is fixed at one end and free at another end, and the loading is of eccentricity type. So this will find a solution to any problem by applying this Euler's theory or Euler's formula for short columns. So we can see, we can solve a problem at, we can see a solved for example. We can be explaining this by a solved example. This is the external dia. This is the dimensions given from the following data. A column of circular cross section, calculate the extreme stresses on the column section. Also find the maximum eccentricity in order that there may be not any tension anywhere in the section. So first of all, we have to calculate the maximum stress or sigma max. Then after calculating sigma max, we can find maximum E max. So we can see the given data is that external dia, this is a circular cross section data of a column. That means a circular bar is being used as a column So external dia is 20 and internal dia is 16. That means it's a hollow circular, hollow section, hollow cross cylindrical section 20, 16, and then length of the column is 4 meter. Load carried by the column is 20 kilonewton, and then eccentricity of the load 2.5. That means 2.5 from the axis it is deflected, it is departed. So this is eccentricity, E value is 2.5. Then condition is that both ends fixed. So this way we will be having the length, effective length will be calculated on the basis of both ends fixed that we have earlier discussed. So we'll be keep solving this problem, and let's place the values into the formula. Young's modulus of elasticity is given as 94 giganewton per meter square. So we'll be taking 94, area of column we'll finding A pi by 4, 20 square minus 16 square. So this will be area of cross section. Diameter is there 20 minus 16, 20 square minus 60 square, pi d square, pi by 4 d square minus pi by 4 d square. So this will be coming, area of cross section is this much, 113.1 into 10 power minus 4 meter square. So moment of inertia can be found by this pi by 16, 20 raised power 4 minus 16. So we have found the moment of inertia of hollow cylindrical sections by this formula. So we'll be finding moment of inertia also, because that is required. So once moment of inertia is known, area is known, then we'll be finding equivalent length, equal length, effective length or equivalent length will be 4 by 2, because it is L by 2. Only in case of both and fixed, we have seen that that the effective length will be half of the length, half of the original length. So 4 meter is the given length, and so 2 meter will be the effective length. So maximum bending moment can be calculated by L into E sec LE by 2 square root of P by EI. So we can place the values as m equals PE sec LE by 2 square root of P by I. So let's calculate the angle LE by 2 square root of P by EI. So we can substitute the value of L by LE by 2 square root of P by EI equals, substituting these value, that means bending moment can be calculated. So maximum bending moment, P is given, E is given, LE we have got, P again, EI is again given, we have found E. So substituting these value, we will be finding bending moment M, that is 200 into 25. So this way bending moment is coming to equals 5.1 kilonewton meter. All these values are given. So we have got two things. We have to calculate area, cross-sectional area, then we have to calculate moment of inertia, then again we have to find length, effective length. So substituting these values, we will be finding the maximum bending moment that can be produced, that is allowable. So maximum bending moment is allowable in this beam is 5.1 kilonewton meter. So again, maximum compressive stress can be calculated by the formula that we have earlier calculated. They were earlier found, P by A plus M by Z, where Z is the section modulus, M is the moment, so bending moment. So 200 by area is 115.1 14 plus maximum bending moment 5.1, Z section modulus we have already calculated. So substituting these value, we'll be finding sigma max or maximum bending, maximum stress that can be generated is 28.7 mega Newton per meter square. Mega Newton per meter square. A section modulus calculated I by Y, Z equals I by Y. So as substituted I, we know this is the I we have already calculated. I by Y, this is I we have already calculated, and Y we have got 10 into 10 power minus 2. So this, substituting these value, will be finding section modulus, and when section modulus is find, say 463.10 power minus 6, not 463.7 into 10 power minus 6 meter cube is the section modulus. So substituting these value in this formula, we will be getting sigma max 28.7 mega Newton per meter square. So this way we have found the maximum stress that can be generated or that is allowed inside a beam of given dimensions. So another point, we have to, another thing we were asked to solve was, we were asked to find the eccentricity, maximum eccentricity allowable for safe loading. So eccentricity can be calculated by the formula is z divided by, this is here, we have got maximum eccentricity minimum P, which is increased by, this is section modulus, and this is maximum eccentricity, maximum bending moment, and this is eccentricity delta plus E is equal to E sec L square root of P by EI. So now we have got to see, we have got to substitute this value in P by A. P by A is equal to M by Z. So for no tension corresponding to maximum eccentricity, no tension, or that means safe loading, P by A equals M by Z. So substituting these value, P by A we know 200, and then A area of cross section, P is again 200 into E eccentricity we have to get, and then sec of TE by 2 square root of P by EI, we have already calculated this value, this complete terminology value, we have got 1.02, then Z we have already calculated here, substituting all these value will be giving, will be finding E for 0.0402 meters, that means 40.2 mm maximum eccentricity is allowed in this case. So this is the way the questions are asked to find different types of loading and different types of eccentric loading, and we'll be finding solution to these. So you may solve another few problems on eccentric loading, and then if any problem persists, or if you are not comfortable, or if you are feeling any difficulty, you may get in touch with me, so that I will be explaining the whole process to you. So for the time being, I am signing off. Okay, bye.